Hello friends, in the series on the income tax cases, today we will discuss the case of Mrs. Sanjana R. Jain versus Income Tax Officer. This case has been reported in 103 ITR Tribunal at page number 546. The judgment has been given by Mumbai ITAT and the date of the judgment is 23rd December 2022. In this case, the assessee was a female assessee. The assessee was earning income from the tuition income and from running the beauty parlor. The case relates to the assessment year 17-18 when the cases for the demonetization were scrutinized by the income tax department. The assessee was having the receipts of near about 8.5 lakh during the year, and the assessee was filing her return of income under section 44 AD, which allows the assessee to take her business income under presumptive basis at the rate of minimum 8%. Now, in this case, the first question arises, although it was not discussed by the Honorable ITAT, that whether an assessee who is having the business of giving tuitions and from the beauty parlor will be covered under section 44 AD, which is for the business. My reason of asking this question is that sometimes we have seen that when the assessees are filing their returns under section 44 AD, when they have some consultancy income, the department is not allowing them the management consultancy under section 44 ADA by saying that you do not come under the specified profession like CA, doctors, advocates, company secretaries, ICWA. So, my point is that when the department is saying that you do not come under the specified profession, so it means that I come into the business. So in 44 ADA, I am offering my income at 50%. So very comfortably I will offer my income under section 44 AD also at 50% or much below that. So indirectly in this case, one analogy can be drawn that for consultancy, for management consultancy, for tuitions income, for beauty parlors, from stitching, all these come into the category of the business and you can go for section 44 AD, although it is a debatable issue. This is one point. The second point is that in this case the assessing officer said that and made the addition under section 69A of rupees 10 lakh cash deposited into the bank account by ignoring the submissions of the assessee that the assessee was having near about 13 lakh at the end of 2016 and near about 10 lakh at the end of 2017, and assessee was maintaining good bank balance in her bank account, and the assessee was having the cash income in the previous year also, in the current year also, and in the next year also. And in the next year, the department has accepted the cash deposit of rupees 8 lakh. So all these circumstances were in the favor of the assessee, but the AO made the addition under section 69A because there was huge balloon has been there in the assessment proceedings of assessment year 17-18 when all the assessing officers were making the additions of cash deposit by ignoring all the submissions of the assessee. CIT appeal also upheld the order of the assessing officer. So when this matter came to the ITAT held that there was no adverse evidence brought by the assessing officer to deny the submissions of the assessee, that assessee was having sufficient cash in the opening year and at the end of the year also. And in the next year also, the assessee has deposited the cash which was accepted by the department. So friends, this case is very important as far as the cash deposit during the demonetization is concerned. So at the end of this video, once again I am repeating the name of the case. The name of the case is Mrs. Sanjana R. Jain versus Income Tax Officer, and this case has been reported in 103 ITR Tribunal at page number 546. The matter has been decided by Mumbai ITAT and the date of the judgment is 23rd December 2022. Thank you, friends.